The Harder They Fall. All black. Well, mostly black cast. I don't want to exclude the man with the
all
with
the
the
people that was getting
scorpion.
shot was the. Oh yeah, the scorpion dude.
The one white guy I think in the movie.
He was Hispanic.
Was he?
Yeah, he's Hispanic.
Okay. All right.
Hispanic
So
actor.
the one non-black actor.
He was in Wonder Woman 1984. He was
Definitely didn't see that movie.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't missing anything. But the cast overall was just amazing. That's definitely a plus for me in this movie. Regina King, Jonathan Majors, Idris Elba,
LaKeith Stanfield,
LaKeith. What is the guy?
Zazie Beetz, Dion Cole.
Dion, he was funny as hell. He was funny as hell in this movie, and he didn't have to like overdo it to be funny either. He was funny within the context of the story.
Yeah.
That's why I thought his character worked very well.
Delroy Lindo.
Delroy Lindo. That's who I was talking about. Delroy Lindo. I love Delroy Lindo, man. That's one of the OGs of the Black Acting Guild for sure. Always in for a good performance with Lindo.
Damon Wayans Jr. was also in it.
He was, which was a bit of a surprise. Should have shot his ass. No spoilers, but I've never really gotten into the whole nostalgia behind Western films, but I feel like they took some of the more noticeable traits of Western films and put a modern twist to it, like the one-liners or the stare downs right before the draw, or you know what I'm saying,
music playing,
the hip hop,
but the hip hop with a Western feel to it.
Usually, when you get them long spreading shots of them running across the plains, you get the we got Lauryn Hill.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Kid Cudi humming.
First of all, where are y'all finding Lauryn Hill at? Why is she's popping up on time?
She only shows up for the GOATs like Nas and Jay-Z.
What GOATs was on this that she had to show up for?
Didn't Jay-Z produce this movie?
Probably just the bankroll, but
and the music.
Yeah, I can say some of the music. Not all of that music was him, but again, him being involved in the property, I'm sure led to the amount of stars that were willing to be involved in it for sure.
Ooh. Wesley Snipes and Sterling K. Brown were also initially cast, but had to exit due to the delays caused by the pandemic.
Damn, I love Sterling K. Brown. Sterling K. Brown is talented. If he wasn't in Jobu, if he wasn't in Jobu in Black Panther, that might not be a bad recast option. One of my favorite lines in it is in like the first 10 minutes of the movie after he shoots the well, you know what? Let me stop. No spoiler. Well, you know what? That's not really a spoiler. There's a certain point in there where he's talking about he's like, look that man up, you'll see he's worth $5,000 if you turn him in. The guy's like, well, why don't you just turn him in? Because I'm worth 10. That shit was hard. That shit was hard.
But when he says blow that bitch up,
yeah,
like it took me out of it for a second. I'm like, would they say that in the Western?
Man.
But then I'm like, yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
It was a lot of great individual acting roles. Regina King.
LaKeith Stanfield going from Bill O'Neill to Cherokee Bill.
LaKeith Stanfield is a talented actor, y'all. Y'all gonna have to put some.
1000%.
Y'all gonna have to put some respect on his name, because Cherokee Bill was a motherfucker too, a cheater, but an MFer for sure. A few things that I did have a problem with. The story had a few holes in it. Nothing that made me displeased with the movie overall, but just some stuff that left me scratching my head. Right. There were a few decisions that were made by certain characters that didn't seem very logical.
Yeah.
Really one character mainly that continuously made some questionable decisions. Other than that, man, the visuals were beautiful. This was a very well shot movie.
It didn't need to be 2 hours.
You don't think so? I don't feel like I got bored at any point in that movie. That's a good tell for me as to whether or not a movie has too much meat. Is if there's a part of the movie that's hard to get through.
It wasn't hard to get. I won't say it got hard to get through.
I feel like it flowed pretty well. Like I can't pinpoint a part of the movie that didn't need to be there, is what I'll say. There is definitely a part in this movie where they get a little bit more exposaic then bang bang shoot 'em up.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it lasts so long that like I get disengaged though, because the tension is so high. That is another thing that they do a good job of with, sticking to the true Western genre, is that you keep people engaged with a story like that with keeping the tension meter on 1,000.
Yeah.
And they did a great job at that, because I was on the edge of my seat pretty much the whole movie.
And I'm not saying that, like I said, it was so boring, or that it was even something that took me out of the movie necessarily. But if I had to give it a knock, is that probably could have been an hour and a half as opposed to 2 hours.
I mean, okay. I mean, it's a fair critique.
But, twists and turns throughout the movie definitely keeps you engaged enough. And like I said, great actors. And I love the fact that they kind of left it open.
Yeah, I had a problem with that. That was one of those holes that didn't really add up. It kind of just like popped up at the very last moment, and I'm like, but no, wait. But I thought that was supposed to mean that, but obviously. But I mean, if that means we get a Harder They Fall too, then I'm with that. There are just very slight things about the story in this one that I felt like kind of pop out, that stand out as probably mistakes.
Could have been hammered down a little bit better, and yeah, mistakes were definitely made.
This movie, just in terms of keeping me engaged and keeping me interested in it, is so much further above so many other movies that I've seen this year. And it's a lot of titles on there that you would think like this is infinitely more interesting than Black Widow. With the plot holes included, I would say it's at least on par with Shang-Chi. I haven't seen Eternals just yet, so I'll let you know.
The ratings or anything to go off of. I think you have a safe bet there.
I liked this movie better than I liked Promising Young Woman. Have you seen that yet?
Mm-mm.
I mean, that was a decent movie, but I mean, it's one that got the critical acclaim. Oh my God, you gotta go see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, this whole thing with Zazie Beetz about her playing a character who was darker than her.
Mm-hmm.
I just got a couple of things on that. I don't know why people are so quick to embarrass themselves when they think about shit like this, or when they talk about things like this, because as soon as the Netflix promo reel got done rolling across the screen, the very first thing that I saw on screen from this movie was a message that said, while these characters were actual people, none of this shit happened. Yeah. None of it. None of this actually happened. This is not a true depiction of any known events. So for people to jump out their skin over the quote-unquote historical inaccuracies of Stagecoach Mary and Cherokee Bill and all these characters that you didn't give a good goddamn about until the movie was made, get off your high horse. Get out of here with that shit. Because then again, the second thing I have to say about it is that what are you saying to light-skinned black actors when you are so upset that they are getting these roles? Are light-skinned women not black women? It doesn't behoove you to attack one of your own because of it. She's not in control of that. She don't pay herself money. She didn't hire herself. She's a black woman in Hollywood trying to get one of the very limited roles that are available to her. Y'all would deny that to her because her skin's not dark enough. That sounds crazy.
And she did a hell of a job.
Had a hell of a role. I think they could have helped her out a little bit with the writing, but all in all, the acting was fine. I don't get y'all sometimes.
Yeah.
Being oppressive to attack the oppressor is not. It's not a thing. That's not a way. That's not it.
For sure. Do you want to actually rate it?
Ooh, out of 10?
Yeah.
8.
Okay.
8, with the only thing holding it back is just those things that we talked about or that we mentioned in the storyline. Everything else I loved. One-liners, great. Fight scenes, great. Plot twist. I kind of saw it coming, but it wasn't so obvious that I was like, well, duh. You know what I mean? So it was okay. About an 8. can't get to 9 or 10. It wasn't the best movie I've seen all year, and it definitely had its issues, but it was a very enjoyable film overall.
7.5 to 8. Yeah, it was definitely a really good movie. I enjoyed it. Like I said, the things that I felt at fault with it, I would have to say they weren't that glaring. It didn't ruin the movie for me at all, and it was great to see all of the representation in a film that wasn't centered by Black death or Black trauma, in a Western film, which we don't see very often.
There was Black death in it, but it was not at the center of it wasn't the driving force of everyone's motivation.
Yeah.
Pain, grief, having aspirations for the future. It was a little bit of relation stuff in there. Finally got a movie where you can see two Black people in love together, and they don't have to look outside of their race to find that love.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Hollywood. Maybe that's why they talked about it so bad. I seen one person, I won't call him out personally, but reviewing this, and he called it dog shit. And this movie has been getting like very good reviews, right? Like very good critical acclaim.
Positive reviews, yeah.
He said it was the worst movie of the year. Then he took it back and said, wait, did Thunder Force come out this year? Because Thunder Force was worse than this. But if it didn't, then it's the worst movie of the year. He called it absolute dog shit. I'll tell you who it was after we're done recording. I don't want no smoke. But it was just like it smelled of Black film, Black Western film. Stay away from my Westerns. Go check it out. Come back. Let us know what you thought. Give us a rating in the comments.
Subscribe.
Thanks for watching another Back of the Bus Squad episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Want to check out another episode related to this? Go ahead and click that video to the left.
And if you want to catch up on some of our other episodes, make sure you click the playlist below.